Looks like we just got connected. Alright, I'm gonna be talking a little bit on the quiet side. My daughter is asleep and my wife is asleep as well. I am Couch 23. We do have Final Fantasy VI Kefka at Narshe coming in. We're gonna go and we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1, go. And yes, Tristan, I should be good to fit it in just within a couple minutes. Should be good. Well, thank you so much. Alright, so I'm moving some adjustments here. Yo, thank you so much for the good luck. And GG, by the way. So how Final Fantasy VI works is Final Fantasy VI has a hidden run gauge to where you need to build it up. Yo, thank you for the look, everyone. Moogles do ruin everything, except for Moogles are awesome. And by ruin everything, I think you mean make everything better. So somebody didn't run away there. That's perfectly fine, which is a possibility for that to happen in that fight. But there's a hidden run gauge in FF6. So you'll see me running, even though I can't run, and each person has a hidden run gauge that I'm trying to fill up to get people to run away. Alright. So basically we want to get Terra to level 6 before we leave Narshe here. If we don't get her to level 6, we face some repercussions later on in the run with how characters gain levels when they join the party. Every character, as soon as they join the party from here on out, will either gain or lose a certain amount of levels based on your current party's level. So when we get Locke in this next part, he joins at an average party level +2. Sorry, I just like to make sure Terra doesn't run over here. So Locke will join an average party level +2. So since Terra's the only one in the party technically, Locke will join at level 8 if we get Terra to level 6. So, and this just kind of snowballs along down the road. So when Edgar joins, he'll join average party level +2. So between 8 and 6 would leave it at 7. So there is a little bit of a tiny little bit of a step route that people can use. I'm currently not doing it because I have not set it up on my SD2 SNES yet. And that's just what I happen to run this on. So I will be trying to get Terra to level, I'll be trying to get Terra to level 6 before we leave Narshe here. And we want Terra as high up a level as we can get her to before Welk, which is usually level 5, just so we can do what's called the Welk quick kill. And what that is it's killing the Welk head before it hides into the shell. And hopefully we can pull it off. I've been pulling it off in the practices I've done. I am a little rusty though. And we did get some gnarly ATB to go. I hope the audio balance is okay. I know I'm talking a little bit quiet. I just want to try and keep it on the quieter side since it is late/really, really early here. So what we're going to do, we're going to have Terra Tech Missile the head, and we're going to do a trick called what's basically weight tricking. And as long as you're in the menu while somebody's turn is being taken, the ATB stops all across the board. So it looks like we got it. Yeah, cool. So what happens there is the reason we attack the shell is we basically we do what's called a counter cancel. So if an enemy has an attack queued up, and alright, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure we get the levels in before it gets a little too far. If we get an enemy to counter, an attack while it has an attack queued up, it will actually stop that. It will delay that turn from a little bit. So what it does, it delays that turn just for a tiny little bit, and it allows us to get an extra little tech missile off to get Welk actually knocked out. Oh yes, come here, come on, kitty. I have my co-commentator here with me right now, Cheddar Cheese. I don't know if you heard Cheddar earlier in my Final Fantasy VII run, but she's very vocal sometimes. In this, since all the text scrolls side to side, we are going to rename characters down to one letter. Usually in the speedrun, we name them down to one letter, but I'm going to make them some fun names just because it's really early and yeah. Yes. All right. So if you just sit there in that bed and just mash, you'll just do nothing. You actually need to hold buttons. You need to hold the direction. Ooh, I love the puns. Keep the puns coming. The puns fuel my run. All right, so I think we're gonna name Terra. We're gonna name her Ray. Most Final Fantasy games, speedrun-wise, are mostly just mashing, unfortunately. There's a lot of cutscenes, but a lot of the fights are really super technical, and they do require quite a bit of, I wouldn't say skill, but more like technique to pull off. They can be very difficult to do, and some of the inputs can be really tight. So I am at level 5 right now with Terra. I do need to gain a few more levels. Yeah, same here. My wit is going to be very low. I am about half awake, half asleep, so let's hope this run goes pretty well. Usually you get 3 encounters in here and no encounters for Welk, but we didn't set up step route beforehand, so we're just going to take the fights that we can, and we're going to see if we can get up an extra level before we fall down the hole and activate the next cutscene. Our main tell for when Terra gains level 6 is she'll learn the spell Antidote. That's just the main factor of when you can tell she gets a certain level. Like at level 19 she'll learn, or level 18 she'll learn Life. So if I walk up one tile there, it's actually it's a trigger tile for the next cutscene. So we're gonna grind here a little bit beforehand. Like I said, if I was on step route, this would all be routed out beforehand, where I wouldn't have to take really any extra steps, to be honest. But we got level 6 pretty quick, so we're on pretty good pace so far. A decent time in this category with step routing is like a decent time's like a 126, 125, somewhere around there. A really good team, really good times a 124s, and then you there's only been a couple 123s so far. The good thing about RPG speedruns is you get to pet your cat while things are going on in the background. So that's actually the best RNG you can get in this fight. I don't know, Waffle. Let's I'm going to assume some wine. More beer? Oh, yeah, I love it. So there's really nothing you can do to speed up cutscenes. In some of the cutscenes in this game, like in battle cutscenes, if you hold down A, the text actually scrolls a tiny little bit faster, and it automatically advances for like the cutscene with Gao. When you get Gao, if you just hold down A during that whole cutscene, it'll just go by itself. You don't have to worry about doing anything. That's the great thing about Final Fantasy VI, is a lot of time it's just hold down this button to win. But it does take some decent skill to get set up and executed properly. Like there's a few really tight fights in this fight itself. Locke can beat Bill. Like Locke, Bill seems like a good name for Locke. So for those of you that have played this game before, I don't know if you remember, but at the very beginning you get the multi-party select with the Moogles, and then like in the later game you have inside the Phoenix Cave and in Kefka's Tower, you have the multi-party select. In the beginning part and the one where at Kefka and Narshe, you can actually walk right next to the encounters and never actually get into the encounter. Yes, I will. Okay, I'm sorry. I will pay attention to you. So I'll show that off here. You can actually walk right by these enemies right here and never get into an encounter with them. It just takes a little bit of timing, and you'll actually never be able to encounter them at all. In some of these, you do need to pay attention to what text boxes show up when, because if you do not, you will get extra text boxes due to mashing A through a yes when you should be saying no. So if you're actually moving past them as they're moving, you actually don't trigger them. The only time that they check for an encounter is if they're not moving. So like in this situation, I can just stand there in the corner right next to them while they're moving and not even worry about getting hit. So the reason we pick Mog here is because Mog has a whole bunch of equipment that we're going to actually steal. And we steal this because if we don't put it, it's going to increase our damage output on Edgar in a little bit, especially once we get to the river part. And not too bad of a time for doing it without step route. Usually you'd want to be out of there around 12:15 or so. There's a fair amount of RNG that can change your time anywhere between like a 123 and a 126, just due to what kind of RNG you get with encounters and what if Gao shows up. The big time loss with Gao is that he can just not show up sometimes. If you get into a back attack or a pincer attack, Gao will never show up. If somebody in your party is dead, Gao won't show up. And he has a 5/8 chance of actually showing up. So there's 3 out of 8 times he will not show up, which kind of sucks. So usually we'd get into a few encounters by now. Again, if we're on step route, step route actually saves quite a lot of time in these longer runs, just due to getting consistent encounters across the runs every single time. NPC movement is actually is actually RNG dependent as well. It cycles every encounter seed you're on. So you may start off a game one time with different NPC movement values versus another time that you play, just depending on how you get everything set up. You know, Edgar looks like a fricker to me. There we go. Shoutouts to Fricker, who actually just learned this run a few months ago. More than a few months ago, I'd say. He picked it up really quick. This is a really easy run to learn. It can be quite frustrating with some of the fights. But overall, it's relatively easy to learn, and this category is relatively short. It's an hour and a half, whereas a full-length category, in quotation marks, is about 6 hours. So quite a big variable difference. The great thing about these intermediate categories is they're just introductory. They can get you right in and teach you a little bit about how the game works to see if you want to continue on playing the game or not. I always loved being Sabin, because Sabin was always my favorite as a kid. Just this big muscly guy was always super cool. Like, hey, this guy can suplex a train. I'll leave that up to chat, whether y'all want to see a train suplex or not. I'll try and meme it up as much as I can for the fans of this game. Everybody's favorite bad guy is Kefka. I mean, I shouldn't say everybody's. My favorite bad guy is Kefka. Kefka is just pure evil. So, if you actually get frame perfect mashing, both of those guards will actually be facing each other instead of just the one facing the center. It actually saves absolutely 1 frame per guard face. So I saved 1 frame there versus 0 frames if you just sat there and tried to do it normally. It's completely useless and silly to even bring up, but it's a giant meme in this community. So the next big level, like I'd say milestone we're trying to make sure that we hit, is before Vargas, we want to make sure our levels are at 10, 9, and 8. So we have an average of 27. Because, or not an average, a total of 27, which makes our average, which would make our average 9. We want Sabin to have suplex because it will be very important for one of the boss skips that we actually will be doing. Yes, yes, I will pet you. Very demanding kitty. I hope you don't mind a kitty co-commentator, so because she's gonna voice her opinion no matter what. Yes, kitty, nice. So, you may remember in the scene growing up playing it, or just even recently playing it, if you use magic anytime between when you get Edgar in your party and when you get to Mount Colts, anytime you use magic for the first time, anytime in between there, you'll get a little cutscene. So we're actually going to avoid using any of Terra's magic, and our main damage is going to be from Edgar, actually. And we got really good ATB there. That's a rarity that usually never happens. So we're going to Weight Trick. Weight tricking is super important in this game. It's basically how we manipulate 98% of the fights. So 2 quick auto crossbows and the fight's over. I don't know if it... I always had problems with this fight as a kid, because I always kept getting tech lasered and everything. I was like, auto crossbow against this giant metal thing? Nah, it doesn't make any sense. So here we have Alok and Edgar telling Terra that they want her to join the resistance against, the returners, the resistance against the Empire. Always gotta have some fancy name. Trying to get her to join, telling that Edgar thinks she should go talk to Bannon and discuss her powers that the Empire's after. Movement in this game is really slow until you get to the sprint shoes, which actually doubles your walking speed. And then movement becomes really difficult, especially if you are step routing. Tight corners can really throw you off. We're going to fight everything in here. We're not going to run from anything. We want to make sure that we get the experience on everybody. We want to be 10, 9, 8 before we actually before we fight Vargas on Mount Colts. Preemptives are always nice to see. The reason you see me defending with both Terra and Locke is because when the fight is over, it actually takes time away from you. It costs time, basically, to leave one of those boxes open. It takes time for it to actually close. So if we close it while there's an actual animation going on, the game doesn't have to do it itself. So we can actually save time over the course of the whole run by doing it over and over and over. I think it saves a certain amount of frames per fight, and I think it's like 7 or 8 frames. So over the course of a run, that's quite a lot. On the overworld, there's actually very specific tiles that actually don't have any encounters on them at all. So you'll see me walking very specific ways. And again, usually in a speedrun, we would have these encounters step routed out to where we wouldn't be getting them at all. So anytime that there's a diagonal where the dark grass changes into the light grass, there's actually no encounter on that tile. It's really weird. So we do sprint shoes here because we like to go fast. We don't like to go slow. And immediately our walking speed is greatly faster than it was before. We get a chocobo here because, well, we don't like walking. We like going even faster with no encounters. And we're just gonna take a quick ride over here to Mount Colts. I'm gonna throw a quick save outside of here just because I'm not on step route, and some of these fights can be pretty scary. So we're gonna run from all the fights on the inside, the Tuskers and the Brawlers. We're gonna fight anything that we get on the outside with 4 enemies or more, or 2 trilobites. I think that's what they're called. I don't remember what they're called. It's been a while, and it's also really early. I actually didn't know about this as a kid. I didn't know there was actually a chest up here. You do want to make sure Terra does stay alive. If Terra dies, that is very bad news, since we don't have any way to revive her. So I'm going to menu here. I have to menu anyways to equip the Atlas Armlet on Fricker. The Atlas Armlet is going to be very great because it basically adds 1/4 to your total fight damage, and auto crossbow counts as fight damage. Trilliums. Okay, so we're gonna take these 2 Trillium fights. They can be a little scary because they do cast poison. They can poison you, but having Terra have and Dot there is a great thing. So sometimes the auto crossbow can actually not kill the Trilliums, and in that case, what happens is we just have a fight prep with Terra and Locke as a backup, just in case that happens. Locke will usually run away first because his hidden run bar is usually at a higher level than everybody else's, just due to his natural speed being higher than everyone else's. This encounter can actually be pretty scary because it can be a pincer attack. Alright. I just need to make sure that we get to 10, 9, and 8 before we get to Vargas. I do want to have Locke run here, because Locke is already at an advantage for being closer to the next level, and we want to have both Terra and Edgar get a little bit more experience than Locke is going to get. So this is the perfect formation that I wanted to get. So we're going to go down to Fire here. So we did get Bane Touch there, which does poison us. So all we're gonna do is enter the menu and go Terra and use Anima. So we're at 9, 8, and 7. So we all need one more level each, and then get an average level of 9. Block running away there would have been good, but it's fine if it doesn't happen, because we can just wait trick here. Alright, so Terra now needs to gain a level, so we'll just go ahead and kill any trilliums that we get. We'll run away from these packs. So like I said, usually Locke runs away first, but sometimes his ATB is a little funky. Party members will actually never run away if their ATB bar is not full. So you could sit there and try and run away and run away and run away and run away, and you would never run away if your ATB was never full. So we did get a side attack here, which is very good. It just allows us to run away without the chance of getting poisoned. Since we are at 10, 9, and 8, we're going to do one more here beforehand. We do want to make sure that we have enough MP for 3 fire casts. Now this fight's pretty simple. This is meant as another tutorial fight on how to use Sabin. What we do here is we're going to cast fire, and then we're going to auto crossbow. But we want Mythical Blade on Edgar, and then Mythical Blade on Locke. And now we just hold A to win. So once you deal a certain amount of damage to Vargas, he will actually, so we can't actually hurt him there. Once you deal a certain amount of damage to Vargas, it'll activate a cutscene like we have here, and then the Sabin will come in, and then you'll be taught how to use Sabin. So I don't know. I think the game tells you if you don't actually understand how to use Pummel, or if you don't know how to get through this fight. You can't actually kill Vargas by killing him with HP. I don't remember exactly how much it is, but all you need to do is just use a Pummel and the fight ends. Another character we're about to have join our party is Bannon. Now, what I was talking about earlier with how everybody when they join your party. Oh man. Oh, I love it. What I was talking about earlier with how people join your party and they get a certain boost past the average party level. Bannon actually gets a reduction to his level versus your party level. So Bannon is always going to be an average -2. Yeah, it is way too early, I agree. I didn't go to sleep until about like 12:30. I'm doing this on like an hour and a half of sleep right now. So right there, so like those tiles that I just zigzagged right there actually do are no encounter tiles. So I'm gonna save here because you can actually soft lock here. If you're not on the correct step route and you happen to get some bad RNG luck, you can soft lock here. Okay, good. The guy's down out of the way. That guard down at the bottom that you saw, kind of in the corner, can actually get between you and the guy guiding you, and he can cause you to straight up soft lock. There's no getting around it. It can just soft lock you. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to leave that in, but there are a few things we are going to grab in the returner hideout that will help us throughout our run. There's a few things in the back. Classic soft locks, I know, right? Just like I found a soft lock in FF7 the other day. I wasn't paying attention when I was doing, after I'd just done the stairs, and I went down the elevator to the first floor instead of up, and I may have accidentally soft locked Cloud, and I couldn't do anything but enter the menu. So we're going to grab the Phoenix Downs, which are going to be super important later on. We're going to do a little bit of time-saving tech here to save some frames, as per usual. We're all about saving frames. So, in this run, we actually say no to Bannon. It's faster to say no to Bannon, and we're going to use the very broken item that we get from him, which is the Genji Glove, if you say no to Bannon 3 times. A little known fact, you can actually say no to Bannon. You can go to the back of the Returner's hideout and talk to this guy. If you talk to this guy, he'll give you the Genji Glove instead of giving you in the cutscene, and if you get good RNG movement with him staying out of the way, you actually save, I think it's like 7 frames. It's like 7 to 21 frames or something. It's some ridiculous amount of frames that makes absolutely no sense to try and save, but we do it anyways. Say no to Bannon 3 times because the cutscene is ridiculously long. It's faster to say no. Yeah, I know that build up for all 7 frames. Such high tech. No, frames. We don't save seconds in this run. Yeah, you don't save seconds in this run. Now there are tricks that save seconds, but I am not good at them. The trick is actually called the Thing, and how I was dodging those beasts at the beginning with the Moogles. When we get outside of Kefka and Narshe, before we get to Kefka, we can do the same kind of dodging and a little bit of manipulating. It saves, I think it's like 10 to 12 seconds. It's pretty ridiculous, and I'll have to pull up a video of it afterwards. But we are going to back row everyone. We're going to sprint shoes on you, the Genji Glove on you. We're gonna save. So if I was step routing, I would save and reset there, because we would manipulate NPC values to where we get absolutely 0 encounters outside of the very first 2 encounters on the river here. Now we're just kind of leaving it up to RNG. So usually you only get 2 encounters on the speed run. We'll see how many we get on the river. So these first 2 are always going to be here, that very first one and this one right here. In the Kefka and Narshe speedrun, you don't really need to fight this Pterodon fight. You can, but it's not really needed. It just makes one of the fights a little bit easier. It is needed for the much longer one. So here's 1 encounter. I'm curious to see how many we're going to get. The most you can get is 6, I want to say. It's 6 encounters total. But the encounters that you get, so you'll notice that every time I hit, like, you'll see like the raft kind of like stutter for a second. What it's doing is it's checking a whole bunch of values, and if those values happen to line up just right, like we do when we manipulate it, it will never give you an encounter on those check tiles. So I am going to heal here because if Bannon dies, we actually automatically lose. You need to keep Bannon alive. This is an escort mission. So we do want to heal up. Yeah, RNG manip is pretty interesting on this run. That's about the most RNG manip that we actually do in the run. Fun fact, blind does not work in this game. Blind is broken. You can get blinded, and they're just cool guy shades that you get to wear. So I'm going to save here, because Ultros can be a little bit hairy. But we don't need to worry about that too much. No, I almost agree with that. So we did get lucky. We have no more counter to Ultros. So ATB fills, which is great, gives us time to get ready for this fight. So we're going to hold down Y, and I'm going to get this fight set up kind of this weird way. So we're the same thing that I did with Wealth, we're going to do with we didn't do it right. So what I would have done, I would have used Fire there to counter cancel that. So that fire would have gone off, and he never would have tentacled there because we would have reset his ATB basically. Now we're just waiting out the ATB to try and catch up to make sure we don't mess up the fight too much. So I kind of had to improvise on this one, but I won't complain too much. This fight went overall pretty good. Especially with the crit from Fricker at the beginning there. That fight, usually you will not get a tentacle from Ultros at all. Getting tentacled there is just a poor execution on my end there. That fight is actually really tight. To get without getting tentacled at all, it's pretty tight on execution. So we do the scenarios in a certain order. We go Sabin, Locke, Bannon, because in Sabin's scenario you get smoke bombs, and smoke bombs are our main source of running away. Shadow can be, let's go with Frank. Frank sounds like a good one. I did know that. I did. That is probably one of my favorite pieces of information about this game, is that he is a dog owner. Interceptor is best doggo. So we run from every fight, like usual. Like I said, Interceptor's best doggo. Look at that. Didn't even let Shadow get hit. Look at that. And we even get the ports. So I don't know if you knew this or not, but Interceptor is actually a ground-based attack, an earth-based attack. Earth-based attack. So it will actually not hurt the floating enemies. So any of the takedown or what's the other one? Bite or whatever it is, rabid bite. I don't remember what it is, but they actually won't hit flying enemies. Don't know why. Just won't. It doesn't do earth damage, but it's like earth based. Oh man. Probably my favorite thing about running Final Fantasy VI is the music. The music in Final Fantasy VI is probably my favorite. Not my favorite, like my second favorite out of the series. The music's really good. It just like gets you up and going. Cyan is going to be Rivers. Shoutouts to Rivers McCown, by the way. He's a ninja, I know, right? Rivers McCown, probably one of the guys that got me into speedrunning. Looked up to him for a long time. So we actually change our battle speed here to 1 to make it go faster. And we put sprint shoes on. The reason we put it on battle speed 1 here is because battle speed only affects the enemies. So I accidentally used dispatch there when I should use retort. I will use a potion here just to be safe, because I should have used retort. Retort does a lot more damage. I don't remember actually how retort damage works. But I do know that it does a fair amount back. Okay. The black belt is the drop that we want to see. The black belt just allows us to have some more smoke bombs. And that's actually the normal drop. The rare drop from that fight is a Phoenix Tail, which makes absolutely no sense to me. So when you fight Kefka in this camp, he's actually part of your party. So we're gonna suplex him both times, just because we can. You know, we like to give Kefka hugs, so we're gonna give him a couple suplexes in the camp. Oh, that's up to chat. If chat wants me to suplex the train, I'm gonna suplex the train. I mean, in my runs, I always suplex the train, just because who doesn't want to suplex a train? Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't you? Because people want to save time. It actually I think it takes about 6 seconds. I think it takes about 6 seconds off your total time if you suplex the train. Somewhere around there. It's like 6 to 10. It's not a whole bunch of time. Aw, wrong blitz input. Feels bad, man. So if your D-pad has some unintentional diagonals, you'll get some bite back from this game, especially when you're trying to input blitzes. Actually, never knew how to do any of the diagonal inputs as a kid. Turns out, technically, you don't do any diagonal inputs because it's just a double input of a down or a left. So you can use just cardinal directions and still get your diagonal inputs. In case anybody wasn't sure if they could or not. Kefka got his suplexes. He's just warming up. We're gonna suplex that train. So the reason we kept our battle speed at 1 there is because, again, Kefka is part of our party. And we're going to remove the ninja gear, and we're going to optimize, and then we're going to use a potion. We take the ninja gear from Shadow because we don't like Shadow. No, we take the ninja gear from Shadows because Sabin's gonna need it more, and it would have been nice if the doggo had done his job there. Oh my goodness! I hope Shadow doesn't die. Okay, good. That's pretty scary. It really doesn't matter if Shadow dies. It just sucks because you'll have to buy an extra Phoenix down on the train. But that's nothing really big. And Kefka just decides to share the purple Kool-Aid with Doma. Yeah, Doma. So I know what you're thinking. Oh, how's he gonna finish in the next hour and a half? Or how's he gonna finish by an hour and a half? Well, we're pretty much almost done with this round. Sabin's scenario happens to be the longest and the most boring, actually. The speedrun makes it a little bit better, but it's still pretty annoying. There's some other minor tech here that is pretty dumb, that it's actually really hard to do. So when you transition screens and you're on a set of stairs, your walking speed decreases if you have sprint shoes on. But if you hit up or down while you're on that flight of stairs, your sprint shoes reset. So during that screen transition, if you hold down or up and then move to your left, right as you gain control, you move down the stairs faster than you would. It's much better for sillier parts of the run. It doesn't save a lot of time. Again, it's more of a frame type save, and it's more about silly nonsense than anything. But it's called fast stairs versus like slow walking. So we are going to menu and heal Shadow, because we don't want him to die. Dying Shadow is very bad here. It's a decent time loss. So those guys will actually never move. Those guys will actually never move if you don't move, because they only move based off of trigger tiles. minor glitch with Saban's blitz input. So if you hit down, or if you hit a direction and a button, or if you hit the direction and the A button too fast to blitz, so like if I was going from fight to blitz and I hit down A really fast, the down would actually count for my blitz input. So that's why sometimes you'll see a runner kind of like hesitate for a second before they enter blitz, just because there's just that minor glitch with it. So we lost a little bit of time there because Cyan had to be a turd and dispatch, which is just slower. Oh wow. Saban pulling out the stunts. Can't even kill that guy with an Aura Bolt. So I'd say we're on pace for about 127, 128-ish right now. Can't run from these fights. They all have a can't run flag to them. And this, funnily enough, can't run flags in this game are actually attached to the enemy and not the whole encounter. So if you kill an enemy that has the can't run flag attached to it, then you can actually run from the fight, and we use that to advantage in the longer runs. But again, with step routing, it's pretty irrelevant because you always step route out those gross encounters. So we will save before entering Phantom Forest. It's really not too scary. Finding the Stray Cat formation is pretty silly. If we do get Gao with Stray Cat, he's probably the most broken character in the game. If you can get Gao with Stray Cat. Especially in casual play. If you can ever get Gao and Stray Cat, the reason Stray Cat is so good is it has a special that does 4 times damage. So immediately, if Gao is doing 250 damage with a base attack and he does the special, he automatically will do a K damage. That's what makes Stray Cat such a good rage. And especially since you can put the Merit Award on Gao later in the game, it makes him extremely broken. So I want to say it's Shadow that has I think it's a 1 in 8 chance to leave your party after a fight. Once you leave the Imperial camp. So any time between the Imperial camp and when you get on the train, he has a 1 in 8 chance of leaving. He will actually never leave once he is on the train with you. since I'm not on step route, I am just gonna go ahead and try and dodge these things. There's another little bit of tech that does save seconds here and there. It's called quick preemptives, and what that is if you input certain commands while you're waiting. Alright, single bombs are okay. If you input certain commands while you're waiting for your people to run away, you can actually have them run away instead of hesitating to go there. And I like how this says no escape, but you can clearly just easily run away. Except for Cyan, because his ATB sucks. Yeah, that is very handy. It does save a few seconds every encounter. But like how you saw there with the single encounter, I would queue up a defend with the first person to come up like Cyan, and everybody would run away right away versus just having the one run away and then the two other run away. I don't know if I explained that very well. Sorry, I had a yawn there. Oh, man. Alright. So, this is a magical switch. It does exactly two things. It disconnects the previous cars, and it opens the wall. I don't know how it does, but it does. Will menu before the end of the train to unequip Cyan, so I don't have to do it later. I will only be unequipping his armor because A, we want Cyan to die in the next fight, or not the next fight, but the boss fight after this fight, and we just want to steal his armor because we don't like Cyan in this run. We go in the back here to get these earrings. The earrings are going to go on Sabin. The reason we put the earrings on Sabin is because Aura Bolt is actually a magical attack. A lot of his blitzes are. Oh, don't you worry. The train's going to get suplexed. Don't you worry. So Demi is actually a funny spell. You can actually block Demi from even happening. So see how I queued up a defend there and I ran away instantly versus having them kind of lagged. We're gonna save. I'm gonna equip you. All right. Now, if like, the quick preemptive thing is kind of weird to explain. I'm not really sure I'd be able to explain it very well. So, a really good Phantom train time is about 58 minutes. Another really fun thing that can happen is you can input your suplex, and then what can happen is if you get the attack equal to from the strain, and Sabin gets confused, he can actually suplex himself. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Sabin suplex himself, but it is the most amazing thing. I'll see if I can find a clip of it. I gotta go through the FF6 Discord. I'll see if I can find a clip of it and I'll share it. I'll share it a little bit later. I agree. I agree. The Sabin is just that good. So on the train, you usually get a lot less encounters than that. Again, not on step route. But this is a pretty decent time for not having step route. I think we'll come in maybe just a hair overestimate at the end of the run. It just depends on how we get RNG. What? You're back to bug me again. Oh, wait, yeah, I forgot. Can't forget this. So this is actually a timed event, so all we're gonna do is put the earrings and the true knight. We need to leave you in the front row. There we go. And we just wait right here. All right. So we're gonna save right outside of here because this fight coming up is a little interesting. It's a little. I'll try and explain it afterwards. I don't really know how to explain it the best, but I will do everything that I can. Alright. Did my timer stop? The timer did stop. Yeah, it did stop. Well, I did stop the timer on accident. I don't know how to restart it. I was donating my $10 from earlier, so we were going to intentionally kill Cyan here. Don't worry, we're coming in underestimate, don't worry. So, you can't... So, the reason we're killing Cyan here... Oh, of course. So we're going to activate the Psycho Cyan glitch here with a combination of another glitch, and we're not even going to see the boss Rizopaz. So we're going to put True Knight on Sabin is because we want him to protect just in case that happens. But in this, we're gonna use the Psycho Cyan glitch in combination with how this works, and we're just gonna completely skip Rizopaz. Hey, what's up, Neon? Here, we'll just add whatever this is passed on. The run is going pretty decent for not having step route. I can't complain. I did reset my timer on accident. So we were like a 105, and then we'll just add on after reset and throw away the run. Don't throw away the rum. Please don't throw away the rum. Here. Well, you can be gouchist. A 105. Yo, thank you, Claire. Much appreciated. So in the randomizer for this game, you actually don't need to get Gao because he's automatically inserted into your party in the randomizer. Alright. We did heal. This is very good. I'm glad I healed. This could have been very bad. Alright. So this is one of the side effects of not step routing, is you can get unrunnables on the belt, which really does suck. The good news is we could possibly get the stray cat formation when we get Gao. That would be pretty good. For those that don't know the mechanic, we do need to get some dried meat to feed Gao before we get him to join our party. So we're trying to make it to this town. Usually you only get 3 encounters, and then you're good. We're gonna go in here, we're gonna sell pretty much everything. Sell the black belt, and I think that's it. And then we're gonna buy whatever. Yeah, that's it. My brain is not working. It is way too early. Oh heck yeah, the town tune is the best. So this is a back attack. This is actually a very scary encounter because these things can use Blizzard, and Blizzard can really, really hurt. You do want to keep an eye out. Back attacks you can't get Gao, and pincers you can't. So if we get in any of those, we gotta just get out of there. Alright, so this one we can't do. So hopefully Gao will show up here, and if he does, that'll be fantastic. If we followed step route, we would only have 1 enemy formations here versus multiple enemy formations. Hopefully we get Gao here. Oh baby. Alright. First try Gao is always good. So we're gonna feed him the dried meat. And then we just hold A for the next minute and a half. You don't need to do anything during this cutscene except for hold A, and I use my console to do that. So I can just sit back and relax. Oh, my co-commentator is back. Ah, yes. Yes. I will pay attention to you since I don't have to do anything right now. Alright. I know, right? Helping me commentate in the middle of the night. Such a great cat. Get your kappas. Post those kappas in chat. Because this imp's name is Kappa. I named it Gautrist. Alright, so we're gonna save outside of here. It is very dangerous in the serpent trench. Well, I'm flattered for y'all having me. Oh yeah, I hear ya. Oh my goodness. Cereal Masticator, thank you so much for that donation. Holy cow, thank you so much. Heckin' great job earlier, by the way, Cereal. I only caught like the last 30 minutes of the run because I was still trying to wake up, but thank you. GG. I had no idea what was going on. It looked fun though. Alright, so the Serpent Trench is actually pretty scary. There is an enemy in here that if it's by itself will cast Aqua Rake, which will completely decimate your team. Thank you so much, Cereal. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much everyone for making this whole thing happen. Y'all have done a fantastic job. The runners, the commentators, the crew, behind the scenes. This has gone pretty smoothly, and I feel it's gone great so far. I haven't had any issues that I've come across, anyways. Right, so if we do get it, okay. So if you do get it, it will be right here, and it will be a single Anguiform. A single Anguiform will completely decimate you, and we're gonna kill Cyan because he is slow. So we're gonna go right and left here, because it's a little bit faster. Oh my goodness. Heck yeah. Good job, everyone. Fantastic job. And shoutouts to the viewers. You know, without the viewers, we wouldn't be here. Y'all are definitely part of this as well. Heck yeah. The viewers are definitely the backbone of Twitch. It is, isn't it? Heck yeah. All the shoutouts. So if you actually use magic on the those are called aspics up there. If you use any sort of magic on them, they'll counter with Gigavolt, and Gigavolt hurts. So if you've ever died to Gigavolt, there you know why. So any type of Aura Bolt is a magic type attack. Heck yeah. I think that's a fantastic goal. Alright, so we're gonna go up into town here, and we're gonna go to the item shop, because we do want those smoke bombs. I'm gonna buy as many as we can. 22 seems like the perfect number. Oops. Oh yeah, we need 800. Buy another Mithril Pike. We buy a second Mithril Pike there because we put it on Edgar for a little bit more damage. Heck yeah. Alright. So now that the longest part of the run is over, we're going to start working on the other scenarios, and they'll be over before you know it. Next one we're going to do is locks. Locks is probably the easiest because we cheat. So as soon as we clear Locke's first text box, we enter his menu, and we're going to equip the sprint shoes on him, and we're going to optimize him so he's got good gear, well, decent gear. Alright, and we're going to enter this house, and we're going to go down to right here, and you can actually clip through this guard. So we don't have to do anything here. We don't have to do anything in the town. How are you gonna kill? How are we gonna kill tunnel armor? You ask. Just you wait. Just you wait. The reason I saved outside here is because we do not want to die, and we can get in a nasty pincer in here that can kill us. But we do have smoke bombs, so smoke bombs are good. Where are they? There they are. In case you didn't know, if you don't pick up these treasures in this cave, they actually upgrade throughout the game. So if you leave this one in the specific room back over here, it actually changes into a thunder rod here. And rods in this game are pretty broken. They pierce any type of wall or reflector that they have, and they ignore magic defense. So forget anything about defense or wall. Rods are OP in this game. Take a nasty spell here and die. I'll make sure you're full-ish health. And who is talking to us? Suddenly, there's just somebody talking to us. I struggled with this fight as a kid so much. Oh yeah, absolutely. Rods are extremely OP. Oh, thank you so much. My co-commentator is doing a fantastic job, hopefully keeping y'all's attention as well. She is pretty amazing. Alright, now we're just gonna pretty much smoke bomb away from every single encounter that we're gonna get into. My co-commentator's Twitch channel is couch_23. That is my secondary channel. Also my primary channel, but it is also my cat's primary channel. She is on every stream. Alright, so we're looking at a pretty decent run here. Right now we're at like 118 or 119. Yeah, now she has a fantastic emote. We'll just run. I could just use a smoke bomb. I'm lazy though. I like holding down buttons. Bannon, come on. Alright. I like how they just know to suddenly check for a random switch in the wall. This run is pretty much over. All we gotta do is a little bit more enemy dodging, and then we're done. This run is on the tail end. Oh, I forgot about this part. This part's really cool, actually. So we abuse a little issue they have with how the A button works in this game. It's got like a little buffer to it. So if we just hold down the A button the whole time, as soon as we activate the trap facing north, we automatically touch the trap tile. Don't ask how that works. I have no idea. I just know it has to do with some sort of buffering time. So if you ever had issues with that, like I did, just know to go there and hold down A as soon as you activate it. I literally have no idea how it works. If I knew, I would gladly tell you. I'd rather be honest and say I don't know than dazzle you with baloney. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the lag time it takes to actually activate. Because if you hold down A in anywhere, it takes a second for it to actually set in. So like if you are in fight and you hit A and hold it down, it'll take a second for it to actually register as like a hold. But once it's held, it actually continues to register. I think that I'm guessing that's how it works. I'm gonna try and dazzle you with baloney. Over time. Feels bad, man. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm a little bit over. So yeah, so 127-ish. So this will be about like a 131-ish, because I did start a couple minutes late. What? It's mostly just had to do with step routing. Step routing is the big deciding factor here to how consistently fast you'll be. Oh, I'm trying. Next 3 minutes I probably should. Yeah, because all I gotta do is just wait for this little cutscene, and then I'm done. I gotta just go beat Kefka really quick. Because it's about 3 minutes from about once we see Kefka in the desert with all the soldiers, it's about 3 minutes from that point, which is coming up in just a second. Yeah, I'm on like an hour and a half right now of sleep, so I hear ya. I'm running on like fumes right now. And you may wonder why you don't see Celeste there, but there's a Moogle. Get some coffee, let the cat. Yeah, I could. So what happens is, if you don't name somebody, they just register as a Moogle. And each Moogle that you see in the beginning is registered to an actual character in the game. Kutan just happens to be registered to Celeste. So since we didn't actually name Celeste, and we're forced to have Celeste here, we just kind of deal with it. Yeah, this is the real speedrun right here. Oh yeah, we'll be done easy peasy before then. So again, we're gonna dodge these guys. We're gonna play a little maze game here. So if we do the thing here, it actually saves like 10 seconds? 10 to 13? Something like that. It's some ridiculous amount of time. That's almost unnecessary. Yo, crits. Let's go. And Iron Needles as well. Taking out Cyan is rough though. We should be good though. I don't think we'll see an Ice 2. No. Alright, there it is. Okay, so that was like a 130 something. Yo. Alright. That is it. Yeah, Kefka still creeps me out as well. Who is on deck? Yo, thank you so much. He did escape. But we did beat him at Narshe. It was a little bit of time in between there. So I'm gonna go with we're gonna go with a 130. We'll go with, I was right on estimate. Alright. Who is on deck? Let me get the schedule up. Oh baby, Thunder Mustache. Heck yeah. Alright.